Hello, welcome to Godalming College Business Department. My name is Anne Lomas and I'm Head of Department here. I'm going to introduce you to the A-Level Business course. So this is what we're going to cover today. Firstly, an outline of the course. Then we're going to look at some of the skills that are needed to do well on the course and also what kind of career opportunities it presents. So firstly, Year 1. In Year 1, we cover the first of three components. First of all, we look at business opportunities, which is when we're looking at small to medium-sized enterprises, or SMEs for short, and entrepreneurs. So that's people who set up in business themselves to run their own organisation. It focuses on those two groups, but actually there's quite a variety of different topics that we will cover in the business opportunities part of the course, and it provides a grounding to everything that comes next. We move on pretty swiftly onto business functions, which is where we look at marketing, finance, human resources and operations management. Some would call those the main departments of an organisation. So I think most people have an idea of what marketing is, but it doesn't just involve advertising or selling. There's lots of different parts to that, and it is interesting. It's a creative and analytical part of the course. Finance has some numeracy in it. It's some accounting, some business accounting, but also looking at things like cash management, sources of finance for organisations, and how it manages its own accounts internally. Human resources, this is looking at your staffing requirements. It's also how to manage your worker. It's looking at motivation theory, leadership theory. So it's very theory-based, but it's also incredibly relevant, as most people who study business will end up working in management one day and need to know how to manage and lead a team. Operations management tends to focus on the manufacturing sector and how to run that in the most efficient way possible. On to Year 2, we look at components 2 and 3. So component 2, business analysis and strategy, builds on everything that you did in the first year. So we use a lot of the concepts that we've already covered and we'll be developing them. There's quite a lot of numeracy in component 2, but it's not just numeracy. There's also other analytical methods involved, looking at theories, looking at different models, different ideas and trying to apply them to businesses, real life business examples. The businesses that you're looking at in Year 2 tend to be a lot more complicated, a lot more interesting, I have to say, and really trying to develop an understanding of the kind of key decisions that organisations are developing in order to try to take them forward into their future. Around about January, we'll switch from component 2 to component 3, which is looking at business in a changing world. And this is a synoptic unit, which means that you have to have a really good understanding of everything that's come before. So again, it's looking at complex, big multinational corporations, real life businesses, and trying to figure out what they need to do, what decisions do they need to make in order to make it so that they're successful. So you're looking at some economics, you'll be looking at globalization, you'll be looking at what's happening in Europe. So things like Brexit and the European Union and the impact that that's all having on organisations. The one that nobody really saw coming, which was the pandemic and how that's affecting businesses. This will all be part of that unit. Very practical, very current affairs based, and it's all about how organisations make the best decisions given the changing environment in which they operate. I have mentioned that there's numeracy on the course, so do please make sure that that's clear in your own minds. We have numeracy in the first year and the second year, but you don't have to be a maths expert. You don't need to be doing A-level maths. You don't need to have grade A GCSE maths, but you do need to be confident working with numbers. There are other skills involved apart from numeracy. You'll be doing quite a lot of reading, so you'll be working with case studies. You'll be also asked to do some independent reading. Every student is required, on every course, they're required to do a lot of independent study, and that's something that makes the course enjoyable. So it's not just reading books, it's also reading newspapers, watching videos, even watching the TV and watching current affairs programs and programs about factories and how they operate, and various different organisations. There's a lot on the TV that's really, really relevant and will help you with your understanding of businesses. Of course, writing and written skills, you're going to be developing those, including essay writing. So you will be asked to do some extended writing on the A-level business course, and that's in both years. Okay, so we start right from the beginning and we develop your written skills so that you can produce perfect answers that incorporate all the skills that are necessary to do well. Throughout what I've said so far, I've been talking about current affairs and the need to have an appreciation and an understanding of current affairs. And that's something that we're going to be asking you to do. We're going to be asking you to keep abreast of what's going on in the news, read newspapers regularly, look at things like the BBC News website to develop your understanding. And to be honest with you, that's what brings the whole subject to life. It's knowing and having an understanding of how real businesses work in the real world. That's what business is all about. That's what A-level business is all about. Yes, the course is very analytical, particularly in the second year. And also, I think far more than a lot of other A-levels, you're expected to make decisions, make judgments, the skill of evaluation, presenting fair and unbiased argument and counter-argument, but then actually making decisions on the basis of that. That essentially is one of the key skills in business, and so you're going to be expected to refine that skill and work on that throughout the 2 years. Now, these are a couple of questions that I get asked regularly, the difference between different courses and A-level business. So firstly, the difference between A-level business and A-level economics. Well, as I said, A-level business is the study of real-life organisations, and it's looking at the decisions that they make, okay, trying to develop strategy for them and criticising in a positive way and a negative way the kind of decisions that they've made. Whereas A-level economics is much more theory-based. Specialising in economic theory, you're looking at things like how the organisation might run, how the economy in a wider context might run. It's to do with the allocation of resources and how might organisations run in the most efficient way according to theory. The difference between A-level business and Btec business. We run a variety of Btec level 3 programmes. Really, the difference here is in how they're assessed. A-level business is assessed using 3 exams at the end of the second year, much like all the other A-levels. So it's a linear course. You learn throughout the 2 years, you practice, you do homeworks and class exercises with your teachers, and it's all to try to train you really and prepare you ready for those 3 exams at the end of the second year. Whereas in Btec business, you are studying at the same level and you're studying real life businesses again in similar ways, but it's more modular. So you will study part of the course and then you'll be assessed in that part of the course before moving on to the next part of the course. Also, it's not just exams, there's also coursework, and it's about 50-50, 50% coursework, 50% external assessments. Some of those external assessments will be exams, some of them will be other forms of external assessment, set tasks, time-constrained assignments, and so on. We have another specific PowerPoint presentation if you want to find out more about the Btec business course. Potential careers, well, everybody ends up working in a business. You can see on screen there a variety of different career options and opportunities that this course presents. So really, so varied, and that reflects the varied nature of the course. Many of our students go to university. Many of them go to Russell Group universities having studied A-level business, and most, to be honest, end up studying business as a degree or end up studying another FAME, which stands for Finance, Accounting, Management or Economics related discipline. If you choose to go straight into employment, well, there's a variety of skills used on the course. Most of the skills that we use are very transferable, very in demand by organisations. And there are various apprenticeships and opportunities in business, in various different businesses that will lead straight from the course. So hopefully that's given you a taster. Really, it's a varied course. It's a really interesting course. It's something that's in demand. It leads to lots of business opportunities and career opportunities. So I hope that that's answered some of your questions, and I hope to see you enrolled on the course in autumn. Thanks. Bye.